Wolf Messing was a mysterious personality whose abilities and fate left an indelible mark on the history of the 20th century. He was born in 1902 in Russia and showed extraordinary abilities from an early age, which would later make him one of the most famous clairvoyants of his time. Despite his incredible abilities, Messing always remained a person who aimed to decipher the mysteries of the human mind and to show that everyone is capable of developing hidden potentials within themselves. Messing became known for his extraordinary abilities in the fields of hypnosis, clairvoyance, and telekinesis. His performances always captured the attention of the audience, as he could not only predict the future but also read people's thoughts before they could even speak them out loud. One of the most impressive aspects of his work was that he did not use instruments or magical objects. Everything he did seemed to be the result of his inner concentration and a unique connection to the surrounding world. But beyond his public performances, Messing was a person who deeply contemplated the nature of the human mind. He believed that his abilities were not a divine gift, but the result of a developed intuitive perception and the training of the mind. In contrast to many other clairvoyants of his time, who often used their abilities for personal gain, Wolf Messing strove to decipher these secrets for others as well. He was convinced that every person has the ability to develop such abilities within themselves, if they are willing to dedicate themselves to self-improvement and the study of the deep laws of the psyche. Despite his worldwide fame, Wolf Messing remained a humble person who avoided excessive attention. For him, it was not only important to predict the future or read minds, but also the possibility of imparting knowledge to people about how they could use their mind and inner strength. This was probably also the reason why he was respected not only as an eccentric personality with unusual abilities, but also as a teacher who wanted to convey important truths about the possibilities of the mind. His ability to influence people through hypnosis became one of the most famous and mysterious aspects of his work. He could not only read minds but also control the actions of others, guiding them in specific directions without resorting to violence or manipulation. This was a true art, and Messing himself admitted that hypnosis, for him, was a way to reveal the inner world of a person, their deepest desires and needs. He did not strive to use hypnosis for his personal advantage or to manipulate people, but only to show how one can learn to control their psyche and mind. One of the most interesting aspects of Messing was his attitude towards his abilities. He never viewed them as something supernatural. Wolf Messing always emphasized that his abilities were the result of many years of practice, self-development, and work on oneself. He was convinced that every person could reach the same level if they showed enough diligence and were willing to fully dedicate themselves. His performances in front of the audience were not just shows but real work with the human consciousness. Messing often said that the main goal of his performances was to help people recognize their own possibilities and learn to use the hidden resources of their mind. He conducted his hypnosis sessions with those who were willing to explore their own limits and always emphasized that a person's abilities are only limited by their own beliefs and fears. He often said that every person deep inside is the master of their mind, and all one has to do is listen to oneself and follow their intuition. Messing believed that this was exactly the key to unlocking the true potential hidden within each of us. Wolf Messing was convinced that hypnosis and psychic abilities were not mysticism but natural phenomena that could be explained from a scientific perspective. He saw these phenomena as the ability of the human mind to go beyond ordinary perceptions and interact with the outside world on a deeper level. In his opinion, we all possess a hidden potential that we can develop through training and awareness. A famous incident with Messing, which helped him gain wider recognition, occurred in the Soviet Union when he demonstrated his abilities to high-ranking officials. He was called to prove his abilities and confirmed that his skills were not tricks or illusions. Messing effortlessly demonstrated that he could read thoughts, make people do what he wanted, and even predict the future. His public demonstrations always remained mysterious and often shocking, but it was precisely these that made him a legend. Notably, Messing did not use complicated techniques or magical tools, which highlighted his uniqueness compared to other well-known psychics of his time. What was special about Messing's approach was that he often began with a person who did not believe in his abilities. This was a kind of challenge, to prove that even someone who doubts the possibilities of their mind is capable of discovering hidden abilities within themselves when they are willing to make inner changes. This approach was radical, but at the same time, it opened the door to self-discovery and a deep understanding of human nature. Despite his popularity, Messing did not seek fame. His main goal was not to make money or gain recognition, but to impart knowledge to people about how to work with themselves and their consciousness. He always emphasized that the true power of a person does not lie in their external actions, but in their ability to control their inner state and direct their energy in the right direction. This led him to a philosophy where personal development and self-realization became central values. Wolf Messing believed that every person should strive to live in harmony with themselves and the surrounding world in order to fully unfold their potential. He claimed that will and the powers of the mind were not abstract concepts, but real tools for changing one's life and consciousness. Messing was also deeply interested in psychology, particularly in how to influence a person's subconscious. In his work, there were many ideas about how consciousness and the subconscious interact. He claimed that our thoughts and actions influence how our lives develop, and that by controlling one's consciousness, one can also influence external circumstances. He placed particular importance on a person's ability to control their emotions and thoughts. He believed that emotional stability and self-control were the keys to developing psychic abilities. Messing emphasized that without inner balance and harmony, it would be impossible to unlock hidden possibilities, because external instability would always hinder the process of self-discovery. His philosophy was significantly different from the approaches of many other psychics who were after widespread recognition and popularity. Messing, on the other hand, was more interested in a profound exploration of human nature and finding ways to help people become more aware and develop the hidden resources within themselves. Wolf Messing was a person about whom many legends circulated both in magical circles and among ordinary people. His ability to see the future and perform hypnosis fascinated many. All who came into contact with him were amazed by his ability to read minds and predict the future. However, despite his enormous gift, Messing always tried to maintain a distance and keep the mystery of his true self intact. Even more secrets were concealed in his attitude towards the subject of death. Despite his incredible abilities, Messing did not strive to predict death or make contact with the other world. Why? He believed it was dangerous and thought it was better not to venture into areas where one should not be. When his followers asked him about life after death or the existence of the soul, Wolf Messing always answered cautiously. He avoided direct answers and even warned his students that delving into these questions could be dangerous and have catastrophic consequences. Over time, Messing became more open and admitted that he had indeed heard voices as if coming from another world. However, he was unsure whether it was truly contact with the afterlife or just senile delusions. His words were careful and indefinite, but despite everything, many continued to revere him for his wisdom and predictions. One of the most mysterious stories about Messing is related to his performances in front of an audience. One day, during a session, a man approached him with a question about his father, who had fallen in the war. At first, it seemed like an ordinary question, but after the performance, Messing found the man himself and said, "Your father asks for rest. He wants you to find his grave." Messing even named a small village that the man had never heard of. A few days later, the man traveled there and actually found his father's grave. It seemed as though these supernatural events sparked admiration or at least hope that Messing could unravel some of the mysteries of the afterlife. But no, he remained reserved and did not allow himself to delve too deeply into these questions. For him, it was dangerous, and he even feared risking his safety to explore these secrets. Another interesting chapter in Messing's life was his ability to predict his own death. He not only knew the exact time of his departure from this world, but also the circumstances under which it would happen. This was a terrifying gift for him, as he believed that such an ability was truly a curse. Messing is also known for having spent his last night alone, rejecting friends and family who had offered to stay with him. The final part of Wolf Messing's life was surrounded by many mysterious events and equally enigmatic stories about his predictions. Before his death, he stated that he was leaving this world in full harmony with himself and the higher powers that had guided him throughout his life. He said that no death could be accidental and that everything in life was predestined. Messing was convinced that every person comes into this world with a specific purpose and leaves when the time is right, completing their journey. In his beliefs, there was something majestic that allowed him to view death not as a tragedy but as a natural continuation of the path. Despite his incredible abilities, Messing was not proud of them and did not use them for personal gain. He always said that it was just a gift that was not given to him to become famous or gain wealth, but to help people. He always tried to remain humble and sought no fame, even though his magical tricks often led to true miracles. He never agreed to participate in shows where his abilities were only used for the amusement of the audience. For him, something deeper and more meaningful was important, something that went beyond simple visual performances. Messing constantly avoided attention and carefully hid his private life from prying eyes. This was another reason why he remained such a mysterious figure. He often claimed that people should not know what is hidden behind their eyes because many of them are not ready to see the truth. This raised even more questions about his true nature and the origins of his powers. Messing was a truly unique person who approached the mysteries of the universe with respect and recognized that not all questions have answers. He withdrew from the world in old age, the time he himself saw as when his time had come. The legend of Wolf Messing does not die with him. On the contrary, it lives on in the memories of those who knew him and in the minds of those who have heard his stories about life, death, and human nature. Messing left behind not only a mystical aura but also a deeply philosophical worldview that continues to inspire thought to this day. The word magic for him was not just a synonym for tricks and feats, but also for the inner harmony he achieved on his life's path.